Is it possible to start a music business in 2026 with only $9? This is the question I'll be answering in this podcast today. Welcome to the Musician Secrets Podcast. I am your host, Elise Koa, and we're going to dive into what it means to have a music business, or what elements you need to have a what elements do you need to have a music business? And luckily, there are only two components that you need. Then we're going to go into the money side, of course, because we want to make money. So how much should I charge? And so on. Then how do I charge it? And then we're going to talk about the software that I use to make the money, to grow my fan audience, and so on. So this is what we're going to be talking to. So the biggest problem, the biggest mistake actually that I see musicians make, and if this is you, this is totally fine, because again, this is what most musicians do. In this video, I'm going to show you a better way, a way better way to make money on a regular basis, consistently, so you can have peace of mind and don't have to stress about where your next dollar is going to come from if you'll ever be making money with your music. This is what we're going to cover in this video, because if you know me and if you've been following me for a while, there's a quote that I use all the time by James Clear, because it changed the way I view success and how I repeatedly get results I want without having to stress about it. And here's the book. It's Atomic Habits by James Clear. And the quote that changed everything for me in the entire book was, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And you'll hear me say this over and over again, because it is true. If you're not getting the results that you're looking for, meaning making money with your music, then it's not that your music isn't good, that you're not talented enough, that you're not a good musician. What's the problem is the system that you're using for you to get the result. So if you're using what I see most musicians do is, if you're using Spotify as your business model, air quote, and you're broke from it, then maybe it's not you, your talent, or your music. Maybe it's the system that you're using, hence Spotify. So this is what I see most musicians do, and it breaks my heart when this happens, because like you will see in this podcast episode, there are way better ways to actually make money as a musician predictably. I think that's the word. Without having to stress about it. All right. We want to work smarter, not harder. This is the way of the musicpreneur. This is where we figure out the business side, how we make the money. Okay. So what most musicians do is, you make music with blood, sweat, and tears put into your art, and then you're finally done and you're excited, and you upload it to your distributor like CD Baby, TuneCore, all those distributors, right? You upload it, and then they distribute, that's what I call it, distributors, your music to all these platforms like iTunes, Spotify, and so on. Okay. So far, so good. But then what happens is that you then go, when you're promoting your music, either through social media or other platforms, when you're promoting your music, your CTA, which is short for call to action, is this: please pre-save my new album, my EP, my single on Spotify. The link is in my bio, or comment music down below and I'll send you the link, whatnot. But you keep sending your fans to Spotify. If you're a little bit more advanced, you'll have some merch maybe, but you're using the wrong business model. And what I'm saying is that Spotify is actually not a business model at all. You're getting paid on average about $0.004 per stream. That's a fraction of a penny that you're getting paid. So basically, you would need 1 million monthly streams to make $4,000 a month. That's before taxes. So that's, I would say $4,000 a month is like bare minimum if you wanna go full time as a musician, because yes, 4,000 sounds like a lot, but again, you need to pay your taxes, you have expenses, and then you need some money to live on. So 4,000 is what I would say is the absolute minimum. So you need 1 million monthly, so recurring streams to make that $4,000, which is just insane. Like for us small artists, it's not a sustainable thing to do to get 1 million. So if you're charging, if you're getting $0.004 per stream, that means you need volume. Does that make sense? So if I charge more, then I need less volume and I need less people to make the same amount. Like I can have a high ticket offer and sell that twice. So if I charge 2,000, then I only need 2 people to buy it to make $4,000 a month. Very different, right? So if I'm charging very little, I need a lot of volume. If I'm not charging, if I charge a lot, then I need small volume to make the same amount. It just makes sense. It's basic math. What I'm trying to show you here is that Spotify is not a business model. Spotify is great for exposure. It's a great tool to get your music out there. And I get it to some degree. It's kind of like the legitimately test. Like as a musician, if you don't have a Spotify account, you don't seem legit. Right? So it's like a test. If you say you're a musician and then they ask you for your Spotify and you're like, I don't have one, then they're like, but are you a real musician? Like in their head, obviously they're not going to say it out loud, but in their head, they're like, but are you really a real musician then if you don't have Spotify? Like, so I get it. I understand why musicians think they need to be on Spotify. And I'm not saying to delete your account and to not have a Spotify account, but what I am saying that you need to get your expectations right. If you're putting your music on Spotify to expect to make money, you'll be very disappointed unless you're a big artist who can get a lot of volume. If you're going in with the expectation that you want your music on there to get exposure, to feel legit as an artist, then that is absolutely fine and you should totally be on Spotify. What I'm not suggesting is using Spotify as your business model because it is not a business model. I'm going to get into what a real business model is in just a minute. But I want you to understand that you need a lot of volume to make some fraction of a money, some fraction of a money, a fraction of the money that you can make way faster with a different business model. So I'm trying, instead of you going into midlife crisis because you believe that you're just not good enough as an artist, that your music isn't good enough, and that you're not talented, then I want you to take that belief and I want you to stomp on it and I want you to destroy that belief, okay? Because that is not true. It is the system that you're using. Musicians, we're just so quick to judge ourselves when really we've been just taught the wrong way to do things. We're taught to use Spotify. We need streams, and in order to get that, we need to get on playlists, on big playlists. I'm going the complete opposite of what all the gurus out there are teaching because it's really ticking me off because it's keeping musicians broke. They're just, in my opinion, just taking your money to get you some streams by getting you on playlists. Now, there are some legit people out there that I've interviewed in my podcast that just generally want to get you streams. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying that should not be your focus. Your focus should be on building a music business that is run like a business, that is, I will show you the 2 elements that you need that will give you a legit business. And then you can have Spotify in the back end as an additional little revenue that you can have coming in, and you can try to get on playlists and stuff. But I'm saying you need to shift your focus. I'm not saying you should not get on playlists, and I'm not saying that views on Spotify are bad. That is not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell you that you need to A, get clear on your business model. B, you need to get your expectations right. And then C, did it say clarity? That's great. Good that this is a live recording. Okay, so what I see is that when we don't execute, it's not that we're lazy or we don't like, it's not that we're lazy. It's that we don't have clarity on what to do, or that we don't have clarity, period. Most musicians don't know what a business model is. And I understand that because I went to university. I went to England and I studied popular music performance. And what I'm teaching you now, I did not learn this at university. I learned this by like 8 years now, by trial and error, and trying to figure out a way to make money with my music without having to use Spotify, without having to sign to a record label. By trying to find a way, because where there's a will, there is a way. And it took me a while to get there, but I was determined to not give up. And that's what got me to this point. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why don't they teach us this at university? It would have been so much easier than just, this is what they taught me at university. They were just like, oh, just get signed to a label. And I'm like, oh, really? So we learned everything, the ins and the outs of how the music industry works, how the record label operates, the different departments within the music industry, how to get discovered, what to do or what to look out for once you get the record deal, and all that stuff. Like, we learned all of that in great detail. But I'm like, well, what if I don't want to sign to a record label? Then it was like, yeah, then you're screwed. Like, well, are you just playing the lottery with your music degree? You're just playing the lottery with your music, basically, with your music career. And then even if you do get signed, the record deal is going to be in favor of the label, not as you as the artist. So you're signing away your rights. They're gonna take the masters from your songs, so you're not gonna own the masters to your songs. And the loan you're getting is basically the money you're getting is basically a loan that you need to pay back in full before you even make a cent from your royalties down the line. Okay. I'm not saying a label is not the way to go. I'm just saying you need to do it in the right direction. If you build your own music business first and you get fans and you build an email list and you're making money and you have the views, you have the fans, now you have leverage that when a label does want to sign with you, you now have leverage. You're like, well, I have fans, I get views, I have an email list, yada, yada, yada. What can you do for me that I can already do for myself? Now, that is a very different approach than if you're completely new, you have no fans, you have no money, you have no leverage in any shape or form. Now, the label is the one that has the advantage here, not you. But if you build your music business first, if you do what I'm telling you now and you build this, when a label comes to sign you, now you have all the power. Okay, so I'm not saying that labels are bad, and I'm saying not to sign. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that Spotify is bad either. I hope what you're hearing here is that you need to do things in the right order and getting your expectations right on what doing what will affect what. if that makes sense. So when I do this, this will happen. When I do this, then this will happen. So if I build a music business, now I have the leverage over a record label. And when I do this, then yes, I can get streams on Spotify, but I'm not banking on money here. I just want to get exposure. I want to be heard. I want to get my numbers up that I need to play at a certain venue, something like that. I'm not saying that streams are not important. I'm just saying you need to focus on your business model first. If you have the right business model, it's like the first domino that you kick over and everything just kind of falls into place. And this is where you want to start. If we get the foundation right, everything we put on top is just going to be extra bonus and it's going to be on a solid foundation. So in this episode, we're building a solid foundation that I think is extremely, extremely important because most musicians don't even know what a music business is, if you would need one, what elements you need to have a music business. And it's actually very simple and very easy. The reason why people or the gurus out there are making things harder than they need to be is because they don't really understand it. Like for me, business has two elements. That's it. And I mean every business. I'm not just talking about your music business. I'm talking about any business out there in the world. I don't care if you're selling TVs or shoes or a car or music or whatever. Every business has these two elements. If you don't have these two elements, you don't have a business. Okay, so we established that Spotify is not a business model. It's a great tool to get exposure, and we know that record labels have their time and place, but we need to build a music business first so we can have leverage that once we do want to sign later on to a record label, we have the power and we have the leverage over the label so we can get the deal that we actually want that will swing in our favor. Right. So now that we know what not to do, here's how a musicpreneur thinks. This is how a musicpreneur goes about building the music business that will give them time, will give them freedom, will get them money, and to do music full time, making very good money. And it all depends on the music business you're choosing. Now, what is a music business? How do you know that you have a business? What elements do you need in order to have a music business? And like I said, the good news is you only need two elements, just two. That's it. When you have these two elements, you have a music business, and it's actually very, very simple. And because I'm a visual learner and I just like drawing, I'm not good at it, but I'll do it for you. I brought my trusty whiteboard with me. I always just have it. You need two elements to have a music business, and I'm going to draw it out because this is what we're going to be talking about, obviously. And then we're only going to be using $9 to do this, which is amazing and basically unheard of. Like back in the day, before like digital ages, if you wanted to start a business, you needed a lot of like upfront money to kind of fund or start your business. Now the online space is a great place to start your business with very low to no money, very little money. So basically we have you as the artist. Okay. Artist. You're up here. Okay. You're the artist. So we already established that. And then down here, we need our fans. Without fans, we are nothing as an artist, not as a human being. As a human being, we are all valuable and priceless. But I'm just saying, as an artist, we need fans in order to have a business and to make money, right? The reason why you're broke is because you have very little to no fans. I just want you to just pick your favorite artist, for example. Doesn't matter. It can be Billie Eilish, it can be Jack Johnson, it can be John Mayer, it can be Selena Gomez, Taylor Swift, like, doesn't matter. Your favorite artist, I want you to think of your favorite artist right now. Just close your eyes. Who's your favorite artist? Someone will like pop up in your mind. And now I want you to think of your favorite artist without any fans. Can open your eyes now? Would they still be an artist? Or at least an artist making money? Like, an artist without fans is what? Broke. Okay, so this is what we have. You up here as the artist, and then we have your fans down here. And the two elements that we need in order to have a business is very simple. Like I said, we only need two elements. The one is we need a product or a service. Product or service. Service. Okay. So the first element that we need is a product or a service. So our product will be our music, our merchandise, our tickets. That's a product. And yes, it kind of stings a little when you have to refer to your music as a product. But at the end of the day, that's what it is, because that product is there to make you money. It's like the cool thing, it's like an evergreen product, which is like the best thing that you can have. You just make it once and then it makes money for you forever. Even ideally, it outlives you. Okay, and then a service is something like you say you're playing at a wedding, or you're playing at a pub, or you're teaching someone how to sing. That's a service. So you provide a product and a service, and in return, we ask for money. Ask for money. Those are the two elements that you need. If you have these two things, congratulations, you have a business now. That's all you need, okay? We, as the artist, we provide a product or a service, and then fans give us money for that. That's it. That's the business model. It's so simple, but people just overcomplicate things. Like, oh, business is like this. Like, don't get me wrong, business is obviously more than this, but at like bottom line, this is it. Like, you can obviously expand on this, and I can just talk probably days and weeks just about like business models in general. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what business you look at. They all need customers. In our case, we call them fans, but they need customers. Like, a business without customers is dead. It's going to go bankrupt. Like, you need customers coming in the door, physically or digitally in some shape or form. And then they need to give you money. Okay, so that's the cool thing. If you have a product or a service, so you're putting music out there, but you're not asking for money. So you're missing the second element, okay? Right? We are here, we are providing a product or a service, we're singing at a wedding, we are putting our music on Spotify, we are, selling we're putting out tickets, but if we're not asking for money, so we're missing the second step here. Okay, so here, right, we have a product or a service, but we're not asking for money. Then that is a charity or hobby. And that's where most of us, of musicians, fall under. We're doing the work, but when we don't ask for money, and therefore you are a charity or a hobby and therefore broke. But if we're asking for money here, so on the other side, if we're asking for money, but we are not providing a product or a service, then we're a fraud. Flat out. I don't know how else to say it, but the blunt German in me just calls it a fraud. Okay? So we need both elements. When we have both elements in place, now we have a business. When we're having a product or a service, then and we're asking for money, now we have a business. And I think the biggest misconception, or not misconception, but I think the biggest fear that we have as musicians to ask for money, because luckily I've never seen this, that somebody has asked for money but then didn't provide a product or a service. I've never encountered that, but what I see on a daily and regular basis is the other option, is where we provide a product or a service but we don't ask for money. We're ashamed to ask for money. We're scared to sell. Right. And this is something I had to like work on myself a lot, to be okay to ask for money. I had to debunk a lot of false beliefs that I had about selling. When we hear selling, we're just like, ugh. Like, it's this negative word when really it should be a positive word that you should be using and incorporating and feeling good about. And it took me years to overcome that. That is a real fear. So if you feel this kind of how do I explain it? Like, if you're not in a good place, and if you don't feel that like selling has that bad aftertaste, then I understand that, because I've been there. It's hard to ask for money. And the reason why is what I found for myself, is that we because we love what we do. Obviously, it's not easy. I'm not saying that, but we just love it. We love working on our music. We love working on our art, on our album, on, you know, it just comes naturally to us. And so sometimes it doesn't even feel like work in that sense, like not the traditional work that we're told. And so it feels weird, it feels icky, feel like ashamed to even ask for money that we would do anyway, or that we enjoy doing, or doesn't feel like work. And what I've noticed is that this belief, this that just came from being ingrained, that you need to work hard for things. Like, you have to really grind. And I'm not saying you should not work hard, but it has to come hard to you. It needs to feel like a grind. It needs to be like really hard. And then you're working, and then you're allowed to ask for money. Like, if something comes easy or natural to you, then you're not allowed to ask for money. Like, if you're just naturally talented at music and making music, that's why we feel icky, because it doesn't feel like work to us. It's fun to us. And that's why we feel so ashamed or afraid to charge for something that we love to do. At least that's from my perspective. So I'm just going to hold your hands and tell you this with all the love that I have, because this is something I needed to hear. It's okay to charge for your music. It is okay to ask for money for your art, for your tickets, for you, so you can make a living from your music. It is okay. You are enough. Things don't need to come hard. It's actually quite the opposite. I want you to think of like let's say, uh, let's pick Jeff Bezos, for example, from Amazon. Do you think he is the hardest working person. I'm not saying that he's not working hard, but in the entire company of Amazon, would you say he's working the hardest in the company? I don't think so. But he's working the smartest on his company. That's for sure. So there are people who are doing like all this physical labor and working really hard. Somebody has to like take those packages and ship them, and they're like grinding and running around, and they're physically working really, really hard, working I don't know how many hours, but they're just getting like this much of this pie, right? But Jeff Bezos is working the smartest. He's not working super hard, but he's working super smart. And that's what I'm trying to hopefully convey to you, that you don't have to be the one super grinding and working the hardest to make the most amount of money. You just need to be the smartest person making that money. So it is okay that if something feels natural to you and you're just naturally talented at it, to ask money. That's like the smart thing to do, because then you never have to work a day in your life. That's what they say, right? So I'm giving you, if you're looking for permission somehow, then this is me giving you permission to ask for money for your music, your art, your expertise. You've got my permission. You don't need it, but if you're looking for one, then here you go. All right. I felt like I had to tell you this, because this is something I needed to hear when I was in your position, basically. Okay, I kind of went on a tangent, but it's okay. Okay, so if these are the two elements that we need in our business, right? So if we have this, we have a business. Now we need to pick our business model. And the first thing that I like to do is, right, we have element number one is our product or our service, and element number two is we need to ask for money. Where I like to start, personally, because I think it's a little bit easier to do it this way. But tomato, you can do it however you want, what you are most comfortable with. I just like to start with the money side, because then once I know what I want to charge and how much I want to make, then it is for me easier to be like, okay, what products or services do I need to create in order to hit this number that I want? But like I said, you can switch it up. Doesn't really matter. Tomato. Um, so asking for money. When I talk with musicians, I ask them a question, and it's, what is your money goal? Everyone talks about, I want to make money with my music. I want to go full time. I want to be a millionaire, whatever it is. But what's your number? Like, what is your money goal? Like, what is your specific number that you want to hit as a business? Like, what's your number? And this might seem like a high number when I say it, but I will break it down and you will see that it is actually very accomplishable. Like, it is actually way easier to do that than getting 1 million monthly recurring streams on Spotify to get $4,000 a month. And I'm going to show you this business model that will make it seem way easier, way more accomplishable than the Spotify route you're probably taking right now. Which is, I get it. We've been sold the lie. We are so drilled into Spotify, pre-save Spotify, send your fans to Spotify, right? I get it. I've been there. It just doesn't work for small artists. And so we need to rethink our business approach. So what is your money goal? This is my question. What is the specific number that you want to hit in your music business? And I want you to dream big, because I'm going to give you a number. It's going to be a 6-figure number. And you're going to be like, whoa, but I'm going to show you that is very doable. Okay. So most of the time when I ask musicians, what is your money goal? They don't have one. They're just kind of vague about this. I just want to go full time. I want to be a millionaire. Okay. The number that I would have you start on is $108,000 a year. Okay. Like I said, it sounds a bit big, but I will show you it's very accomplishable. Okay. So $108,000 a year. That's $9,000 a month. A month. Okay. There we go. Okay, so we're here, we're asking for money, and this is our money goal. We want to make $108,000 a year. That's $9,000 a month. Sounds like a pretty big number. Be like, what would you do with a $9,000 a month? $9,000, like, come on. That would be pretty insane. Like, what would an extra $9,000 a month do for you? Like, the possibilities, right? You'd be like, yeah, at least dream on. $9,000 a month. That is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. But if you know the right math, then you will see how easy it is to achieve that. Right now with Spotify, you're on super duper hard mode. and then you're complaining why it's not working. Let's do this on easy mode. That will get us way more money. Okay. Now, this is not complicated math. I hated math at school. I was never good at math. But as a musicpreneur, and if we're running a business, we need to know our simple numbers. Okay, so if my goal is to make $9,000 a month, then an option would be, that I would recommend, is have a $9 product a month. So I like subscription models because they are recurring, predictable income on a regular basis. So I don't have to stress about constantly getting new people in the door. I sell to them once, and then I get money until they cancel. So I just sell to them once, and then it just renews every month, which is why most people do it. Why most business models are subscription models, because it's the easiest way to have predictable income, right? So if I have a $9 product, that means I need 1,000 true fans. Isn't that crazy? Get out your calculator if you don't believe me. But if you want to make $9,000 a month, you have a $9 product, a $9 a month product, and you only need 1,000 true fans. Now, what do you think is more achievable? Having 1,000 true fans give you $9 a month. That is, by the way, a cup of coffee, maybe a fancy cup of coffee, or probably 2 cups of black coffee a month. So basically 1,000 fans giving you 2 cups of coffee a month, or 1 fancy cup of coffee a month, or Spotify giving you $0.004 a month per stream, meaning you need 1 million monthly recurring streams to make $4,000 a month. Now, what is more doable? The 9,000, like, you get 9,000. That is, more than double and you have way less effort. You have 1,000, not a million. Like, this is what I say. You are right now on mega hard mode. You're making it extra duper hard on yourself. I'm telling you to work smarter, not harder. This is the smart way of doing it. Okay. If you charge 2 cups of coffee a month from your super fans, from your true fans a month, you're making $9,000 a month. Crazy. You know what? What is even better? This is just one example. Like, what if you just doubled the price? You say you charge $18 a month. Then you need half the fans. So that's only 500 true fans. Like, look at this math, right? So obviously, if I double the price, I only need half the fans. Do you see how less scary things are, and you get more clarity by actually putting a number on it and then running the numbers? And this is not complicated math. This is just very easy math, but so many musicians don't do it. They just blindly follow the advice that just most gurus are putting out there. Just get streams, get them Spotify playlists, some big ones, and then use Spotify as your business model. Basically, that's what they're saying. I'm saying that is the worst way to make money and the best way to stay broke. And that's why so many musicians complain that they're the starving artist when you don't have to be. You just need 1,000 or 500, or the more you charge, the less fans you need, like true fans. And this is just the start. If you have more than 1,000 fans, then you're going to make more money. This is just the starting point. Like, how crazy is that? Okay, so the goal is to get 1,000 true fans. This is the goal. When we hit 1,000 true fans, like, that's a dream, right? You don't need millions. We're not talking millions. We're talking 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. That's the goal. That's the mission, right? Isn't it amazing? You can make $9,000 a month with a $9 a month product of recurring, predictable income with only 1,000 true fans. That's super cool. Now that we know our price points, so for easy, because I get it. If you're new, then you're going to be where I was. You're going to be a little scared to ask for money, which I just explained why. That's okay. That's why we're only starting with $9. Okay. We're starting with $9 a month. This is what we're going to be charging. $9. That's it. Okay. That's 2 cups of black coffee or 1 fancy cup. So, and you're going to frame it that way. When you're going to be asking for money, it's like, hey, only if you buy me 2 cups of coffee a month, you're going to get, and this is what we're going to get into now. Right? This is what you're going to frame it. You can see, wow, for only 2 cups of coffee, you're getting yada, 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 yada. And then it will feel like a no-brainer for your fans. And then we don't have to be scared of asking for money, right? So if you want to deep dive more into this, I have different price strategies for all of that. I have the, what do I call it? The IKEA price hack and the Apple value ladder, the Apple price ladder that I use that you see everywhere, but you don't know that they're doing it to you. So it's kind of the pricing psychology. Again, we're just starting with $9, but there's so many ways you can even charge more, therefore make more money. Again, by just using the right business model, price points, and so on. If you want to learn more about that, if you want to learn about the Apple price ladder and the IKEA price hack, then you can sign up or you can join my free community, the Musician Secrets Campus. The link is down below. You can join the community, and I go live and I teach you the exact strategies in there, so you have someone that can tell you exactly, do this, do this, do this, do this. This is not the purpose of the video right now. I just want to show you that this is doable, that this is way easier, that you're doing it on hard mode right now, and it's actually way easier to do it this way, and you make way more money. All right. All right. So basically, you're going to charge $9 a month. And now, so we've got the first part checked. Okay. We're asking for money. We're asking for $9 a month. Now we need to fulfill on the second part, because otherwise we're a fraud, right? If we're asking for money, but we're not providing a product or service, we're a fraud, and we don't want to be a fraud. So in order to charge $9 a month, what are we going to do? All right. So now we need to provide value. You'll hear that sometimes. People that are in business and marketing, they will talk about the word value a lot. So with value, they just mean, what product or service are you going to provide that is valuable to your, in our case, fans? What is the value you're exchanging for the money? Right? So that's why I like to start with my price point, because that will determine the value I'll be providing. So if I'm charging $9 a month, okay, what do I need to provide on value and products, right? So there are many, many ways, many things that you can do. But what fans in particular want is proximity to you. And this might sound crazy to you right now, because you're like, oh, I'm just Elise, or I'm just John Doe, right? In your head, you're just you. But if somebody's a fan, they want to spend more time with you. They want to be closer to you. They want to learn more about you. They want that more, that deeper experience, that fan experience, right? So the first thing that I like to do is do lives, because, and I would say at least every other week, because for $9 a month, you can say you'll go live twice a month or on a weekly basis, whatever. But I would say, um, yeah, so like twice a month, or you can do 4. So it's 2 to 4 times a month. Okay. You can decide what you want to do, but 2 to 4 times a month, I will go live. And don't stress out. Like, this is what I call anyway content. Just go live on things you're doing anyway. Like, I go deeper into like the anyway content, because it's genius. It's marketing your music for free and with no extra time. And that's the cool thing. So some will do like breakfast with me. You're having breakfast anyway. Just film yourself and have fans ask you questions. Do a Q&A. Film your band rehearsal, right? Something like that. Things you're doing anyway, or they get to be a fly on the wall when you're recording your music. Something like that, like things you're doing anyway. Just go live and film that. Fans are interested in things like that. So you can do, you can go live. You can do the Q&As. You can get like really creative with this now. I have people who will send postcards. So once a month, they will send out a postcard, a handwritten postcard. You can do that if they're maybe on a more high level, top tier, if they're paying more. If they're only paying $9 a month, I don't know if I would like send them a postcard, but you can. I'm just putting it here as an option. Right? Then they can listen to your music early. So you can do like early music releases, obviously online, that they get to be part of. So they get to hear your music first. So pre-music release releases. And what would be super duper valuable, what my some fans will really enjoy, is what I would see is give them one free shirt a year, right? Because you are making $108,000 a year. If you have um fans giving you $9 a month for a longer period of time, then send them a shirt for free. Be like, or you can give them a 50% off discount or something. I would just give it for free because it um free shirt a year, right? Okay. So once a year they get a free merch shirt from you or something like that. You can get really, really creative with that. If you can think it, do it. There's no right or wrong way to go about this. By the way, this is something we in business call value stacking. So do you see value stacking? Oh, because we're just stacking more and more products or services on top of each other. Can you see that? You're like, oh, I'm going to go live once a week, and you get to be there with pre-music releases. Then you're going to get a free shirt a year, and so on and so on and so on. And obviously the more you stack, the more valuable it will be for your fans. And they're like, I'm getting all of this for only $9 a month. And then they buy it. So a sale happens when the perceived value of what you're offering is higher, or even better, a no-brainer compared to the money they should be spending. When this happens, when this seems higher than the price, now people buy. As long as this price seems higher than the perceived value that they're getting, they're not going to buy. Right? So if people aren't buying, then it's a good indicator that what you're offering, the service, the value you're providing, is not worth their money. It sounds harsh, but it's just the reality of things. Is either they're just not the right person, they're not your fans yet, or if they're a fan, then and they're not buying, it means like, I don't think I'm getting the better deal here. So your fans need to think or believe they are getting the better deal. Okay? When your value stacking is higher than the $9 they're spending, they will buy. Now, I go into great detail, and these are just a few ideas. I have an entire PDF and I have entire training where I go into this specifically, what exactly to put in there, like what products and services you should be putting in there when you're charging $9, when you're charging $18, when you're charging $50 a month, $100 a month. Like, what do I put in there? How do I make things valuable and all that stuff? I do. Sorry, my voice is kind of leaving me right now because I've been making a couple of videos. I do entire training just on this. I'm just scratching the surface so you can see what's possible. But again, I teach this inside the Musician Secrets campus. And if you want to learn exactly how to do that, how to price, what to put in your value stack and all that stuff, and learning about the Apple price ladder and the IKEA price hack, then I teach that in my community, and you can join it in the link down below in Musician Secrets campus. All right. Right. So we know the two elements that we need as a business. Now we know what we want to charge, and we now know what value to provide in order to justify, air quote, justify those $9 a month. Okay. Now, what software do I use in order to do that? Now we need to bring it all together, right? We have a product, we have our service, but how we need a home where we can put these things in, right? I like to use this like as a vessel. Our business is like the glass, and the water is the money, the products, the services. It needs to live somewhere, because if I just have water and I pour it, it's just going to go everywhere. But my business is the vessel where I can have everything live in without it just going everywhere. All right. Oh, I'm going to just take a sip since I have it in my hand. Right. So what I like to use for this purpose is Skool. This is where our $9 a month come in. Now, Skool, if you haven't heard about it yet, it's basically if you take Facebook groups and pair it with Patreon, that would be Skool. um, it's basically Facebook group on steroids that gives you the opportunity to do everything I just showed you with only $9 a month. Now, I usually get pushback in that and like, I use Patreon for this. All right, okay. I'm gonna show you that Patreon is actually costing you more money than Skool. Because we're running a business, we need to know our numbers. And I'm not saying complicated, just basic math. And I'm gonna just show you the numbers and show you why, if you're using Patreon, you're actually spending a lot more money than you should be, and you will save a lot of money using Skool. But before that, I want to show you why I use Skool. So Skool has different tabs, and one is the community tab. This is where it basically looks like the Facebook group. You can talk to each other, you can ask questions, you can respond in there as an artist. And this is a great way just to nurture that relationship with your fans. You need to, you know, just to grow and have that conversation with your fans. What do they want from you? You can have polls in there, so you can like ask them, be like, hey, what cover do you like better for my album, this or this or this? And then they can like vote on it and stuff like that. So you can like just deepen that fan relationship. And the closer you are and the better that relationship is to your fans, the more likely they will spend money with you, and even more money. So we want to nurture that relationship, and that community tab does that for you. But at the same time, you also have, it's called courses, but this is where you can put in your songs, your albums. If you go live, right? You record that, and then you just put it in there so your fans can see it. So everything is just in one platform. Before Skool, I had so many different softwares. I had Kajabi for the courses, but to put my videos in for my fans. Then I had to use Zoom to record that. When I'm going live, right? So I needed all these different software that each costs more than $9 a month, I can tell you that, to use. And now Skool does it in one platform, so you can go live on Skool. You don't need Zoom, so you're again saving yourself money. So you go live within Skool. You also then once you recorded it, you can then put it in the classroom, the course section, and put it there. So people who've bought that, they can access it there. And then the cool thing, what makes Skool very special, is it's a gamification. So the more people talk to each other in the community, they get points, and when they earn points, they level up. And when they level up, you can reward them. for example. You can give them cool, and the reward can be whatever you want it to be. And so that just incentivizes people to be in your group, to be active, because then they get cool rewards from you and all that good stuff. You have a calendar in there, so your fans, excuse me, they see when you go live and all that good stuff. Again, I don't want to go into great detail into this. And by the way, this is not sponsored by Skool. I just think it's the best way for musicians to be on Skool. I don't understand why not every musician is on Skool, because you get to set the price point. You get to charge on a monthly basis. You can do a one-time charge, all that stuff. Again, I talk all about this in the Musician Seekers Campus when I go live. You can join. I talk about this in great details. I'm not going to do that here, but so you everything you need basically for your music business is in this one tool that is very easy to use. You just set it up once. Again, I help you through the process in the Musician Secret Campus. But the one pushback that I do get is then, why should I use Skool when there's Patreon? Okay. And besides Patreon not nearly having the features that you need from Skool, that's just one aspect, but I don't want to get into that. The other thing is, again, the price, the numbers. We're running a business and we want to keep most of the money. So the argument is Patreon is free. No, Patreon is not free. It is free to use as long as you're not making money. Once you start making money, they charge 10%. 10. That's a lot of money. Okay? So let me just show you. Yeah, no, maybe I'm not going to use the whiteboard for this. So Patreon, they put a big fat free on it, you know. But again, we know better, because what two elements do we need in order to have a business? One, we need to provide a product or service, and then we need to charge money. So if we're giving away something for free, it means they are making money somewhere else. So if you think Patreon is free, you haven't been listening to this podcast properly. You got to rewatch it. Okay, I can make that is a very strategic business move, a strategic business model, and you should be using it as a musician as well. But that is something I teach in the Musician Secrets Campus. Patreon is free as long as you're not making money. As soon as you make money with Patreon, they take 10%. So if we're making $9,000, that's our goal, right? We want to get 1,000 true fans. We're making $9,000 a month. 10% of that, okay, is $900. You're giving $900 to Patreon because they take 10% as soon as you make money. Now, Skool, on the other hand, it has two business models. One is the hobbyist, I think, and then they have the pro model. So the starter or the hobby model is $9 a month, which is more than enough to get you started with your own Skool community. And then once you grow and get bigger, then it costs $99 a month. So it's quite the jump. But before you leave, here's the thing. If you're and this is on a monthly basis. So if you sign up for a yearly base, it's a little cheaper. But I'm taking the more expensive model, so you can see that it is definitely worth it, even with the more expensive model. So in the beginning, you you in the beginning, Skool costs $9 a month. All right. But they charge $10. They charge, but they take 10% as well to the $9. So in the beginning, Patreon or seems cheaper because they're just charging the 10%, right? Skool is charging you $9 plus the 10%. And just so you know where these 10% are coming from, this is not just yada yada yada. This is actually because you don't have to set up like any payment gateways. You don't have to set up a Stripe account or a PayPal account or whatever accounts. Like this would be very, you would need a landing page, and then on your landing page, then you would need your payment gateways. You need to connect them and all that stuff. Like as a little bit complicated, it's a bit more advanced. The cool thing with School, you don't need any of that. You just say, this is what I charge, and then people click buy and done. Like you don't have to do anything. So $10 is is quite high, but it's okay for what they're doing, right? They're still a business, they need to make money somewhere, okay? But when you upgrade to the pro plan that is $99 a month, you only pay now 2.9%. That's way, 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 way less than obviously the 10%. So now here's the thing, okay? So we want to make $9,000 a month. Patreon will, period, just always take 10%. You don't have a monthly subscription or anything, none of that. They will just take the 10%. So in this case, they will take $900 from you. Okay? So if we take the exact same numbers, we take the $9,000 a month, but now we're on the pro plan of School. That means we are only going to calculate the 2.9%. That's $261. And then I add the one-time monthly thing, so the $99. That is $360 a month. Patreon is charging $900 a month. School is charging $360 a month. Okay? And then the question is, when should I switch from hobby to the pro plan? And I did the math for you. You don't have to think about this. Once you hit 155 fans, the pro model of the School community will be cheaper than Patreon at only 155. So what I'm saying is, in the beginning, stay on the School hobby plan. Yes, it's air quote more expensive by $9 a month. But if you charge for your community $9 a month, then you just need one fan and you're already broke even with Patreon, basically, with just one fan. So I don't think that's that should be an issue. And not it doesn't get cheaper than $9 a month to run a business. It's it's you got to invest into your business at least a little bit. And I think $9 a month is totally doable for that. Okay, so we're start on the hobby plan of School, and then once we hit 155 fans, then we upgrade to the pro plan of School, and then the more fans we get, the cheaper it's gonna get compared to Patreon. So just as a little comparison, again, if you want to know exactly how to set up your School community, how to price it, the 3 tiers you should be using, if you should be using a subscription plan like I showed you now, or if there's a a one-time payment and all that stuff, then you can go to my School community, which I call the Musician Secrets Campus. So I practice what I teach in the link down below, and I go live. I do live trainings on this that you get to be part of. So that's basically it. This is how you start a music business in 2026 with only $9. If you want to sign up to the School community, or if you want to start your own School community, you can I'll have a link down below for you where you can sign up for that. And other than that, you can join my School community, Musician Secrets Campus, where you can learn way more about that, because we also need to make sure that fans are coming in. And if you want to learn more about how to get fans into your business, to your School community, then I have a video that I did last week where I teach you how to promote your music even if you hate social media. I will show you a really cool, evergreen, predictable way to get fans into your school community. Other than that, you can have your dreams or your excuses, but you can't have both. Make a decision. Do you want to follow your dreams, or do you just want to keep making excuses why school doesn't work or why whatever excuse you want to insert? I believe in you. You've been just doing the things on hard, hard, hard mode. That's why you've been just so discouraged, and that's okay. But you now have a better way that is the easy mode, and you can see that you only need 1,000 true fans to give you a cup of coffee a month for you to make $9,000 a month. Like, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice to just kind of have that peace of mind and know that this money is going to come in predictably monthly without you having to do more work, more hassle? If that sounds good, join the Musician Seekers Campus where I teach you step by step how to do that. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video, and thank you for watching this far. Mahalo.